Hey guys, welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. As always, my name is Justin. Today we got some mods planned for the Colorado, so let's get to it. I swear, all it ever does in PA is rain. Well, I guess this is a good reason to have a garage, so let's get the Colorado in here. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to be installing today. Number one here is the Gen 5 DIY daytime running light relocation. So that's going to move the daytime running lights from the actual headlights to the turn signals instead, or the parking lights. I wanted to do this because ultimately another one of my packages here, right here, is an HID kit, and I didn't want the HIDs running at 50% power with the daytime running lights because that could cause problems with those. I also got the switchback turn signals, so they will light up 5K white until the turn signal is used. Then it will switch over to the typical amber color. And then these are the fog light bulbs, which this truck actually uses an odd bulb number for fog lights. It uses a 5202, and these were actually really hard to even find, let alone in the color I wanted. I wanted them all to match around 5K. I'm not sure about these fog lights because even if they do match, I don't think they're going to be bright enough, and I wanted to get something really bright to obviously help with visibility and also match those HIDs once they're in. So I actually had a company contact me, a JDM A-Star, and they have an actual LED powered version of their fog lights that I thought I was going to go to their site and actually look those up anyway, and they contacted me first. So they'll be coming here in the next couple days, and for now, for today, I'm going to throw these in there, see how they do, and then kind of give you a comparison video from these to the JDM A-Star ones and see which one's better. I mean, these ones right here claim around 800 lumens per bulb, and the JDM ones I'm getting are 2000. So we should see a pretty big difference right off the bat, but I'm also going to give you guys a review of the JDM A-Star bulbs as well and see, you know, if they're worth the cost, you know, if it's something you guys should consider if you own a Colorado as well, since this bulb number is kind of an odd one. So stick around for that. That part's going to be more so at the end of the video. I'm going to do the install of the stuff that you see here now today, and then once I get those JDM bulbs, I'm going to throw them in the truck and kind of give you a comparison. Alright guys, so here's the Gen 5 DIY harness laid out. You can see here it's got a couple relays I'm probably going to mount up in here. This is the one that also includes the resistor for the turn signals so they don't hyper flash. So those are going to have to get mounted up there too. And then it runs all the way over to the passenger side where it also plugs in here, again with another resistor. So I'm going to fish all this stuff through, mount the relays up here somewhere, kind of clean everything up. But ultimately what you want to be doing with this connector right here is just down in here. No, you can't see it on the passenger side. What you want to do is the Gen 5 DIY kit here. It's going to plug in between the wires running to the headlight and then into the headlight itself. So, not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but the connector is right here. It actually has a red tab on it. Let me grab a flashlight. Okay, so you should be able to see that now with the flashlight. It's got a little red tab on it. You want to pull that out, and then that's going to plug into one end of this Gen 5 DIY cable, the other end plug back into the headlight. Okay, so I got the plug off here. That's the stock plug there that will go into the Gen 5 DIY harness. That was actually more difficult to get off than I thought it was going to be, but ultimately what you want to do, if you can see that red tab, you want to pull that back, then you can just squeeze this connector right here and pull it off. And then, as I said, we're just going to take that connector and we're going to plug it into this end of the Gen 5 DIY harness, which is pretty hard to do with one hand. But just like that, it's done. Stock connector plugged into the Gen 5 DIY harness, then this part will go back into the stock headlight, like so. Okay, now for the switchback turn signals, you can see down in there the gray one with the black on the back of it. I'm going to take that out and replace the stock turn signal bulb with the switchbacks. Okay, and there's the stock turn signal out. I'm going to go ahead and throw the switchbacks in there now. And there's the switchbacks installed. I'm going to go ahead and put them into the headlight now. Over on the passenger side, it's a little different. We have to remove this and this little protector piece here to get access to the headlight. So this looks like it is a T15 Torx, and then the rest are just held in with what looks like little clips. So I removed the T15 screw out of here, took out these 3 clips, popped out this Christmas tree style connector out of there, and this one over here as well. That way these pieces can all be lifted freely out. This one back here and this one here are actually one connected piece. I'm going to continue moving the clips out of here and then remove everything from here. So this is what it looks like. There's 2 additional clips behind the headlight, but this whole thing comes out to gain access to that passenger headlight. Okay, and again, just putting in the switchback turn signal here. Again, hard to do with one hand, but I'll put that in and then slide it back into the headlight assembly. And then here is the passenger side that needs to be hooked into the Gen 5 DIY. That will be plugged in here, and then the other end will be plugged right into the passenger side headlight as well. Now I've decided with the Gen 5, since it's over here is where all the relays and it's got to be hooked up to the power and it's got to run over to the passenger side, I'm going to run it right along here. So I'm going to remove the top radiator brackets, put the wire down in here, and put these back on. Now obviously I'm not going to put it down far enough to actually touch the radiator or anything that might get hot, but just to kind of keep it tidy through here. That way it's not just flopping around and, you know, could possibly get caught by the accessory belt or anything like that. So I got the bolts out here. These literally just lift up like that, and then I can just tuck the harness underneath here, just like that. Do the same thing over here on this side. And then just bolt these guys back down. So I ended up running the power straight to the actual positive battery terminal. You just obviously just pull that back right here, take that nut off a little bit, slip the ring on, tighten it back down, it's good to go. First test of, I guess, really just the LED switchbacks. Yeah, those look nice. So now we'll start on the HID headlights and the LED fog lights. I started with the HIDs install, obviously on the driver's side first. And let me tell you, there is a lot of wiring here. So ultimately, put the bulb in, connect the bulb to the ballast, and then the ballast connects to this relay harness, which then obviously has a crimp ring somewhere here for going to the positive terminal. So I also have an anti-flicker in here that's in between the ballast and the bulb. So it goes bulb, anti-flicker, ballast, relay harness. So it's going to take me a long while to hide all these wires and, you know, tidy everything up in here, but that's the majority of the install on this. Honestly, the rest is just putting a bulb in and connecting some wires together. I got the driver's side headlight done. There is a lot of wiring here. I'm going to have to spend a good bit of time tidying all that up, but I ended up putting the positive wire to right here, and then the negative one I actually ran back here to the negative battery terminal, and that worked for just the driver's side so far. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the passenger side here in a minute, but ultimately it's not really that hard. Like I said, it's just connecting some wires, putting the bulb in, running the wires to these areas here, which is the majority of what you need to know is where to run these, because I tried almost all these terminals and most of them didn't work. So this one here did work, so that's definitely what you're going to want to keep your eye on. Here's a before and after type. I got the driver's side done, passenger side's not done yet, but look how much of a difference there is in the color and the brightness in these HIDs versus the stock headlights. That's incredible. I mean, I don't know how well that's coming through on camera, but it is a lot brighter on the driver's side. And to get the power wire for the HIDs from the fuse terminal here over to the other side, I'm doing the same thing I did with the daytime running light harness. I'm just gonna slip it right in behind the radiator brackets, zip tie it in there, and tidy all this up. Like I said, the majority of this process has been literally just finding a place to run the wires and to make sure that they're invisible, which, as you can see over here, they are definitely not. And that's going to be the majority of this work. So if you guys could see right there, we're on the passenger side now. I took the dust cover off already, but that's the stock headlight in there. And we're going to pull that out, put in the HID, and start hooking it up on this side as well. Now, this is the dust cover right here. These are kind of tough. I mean, all they do is go in there and then turn a quarter turn, but fumbling around in there, there's not a lot of room to do it. These are kind of a pain, so be prepared for that. One other thing I thought I'd mention, the ground bolt right there, well, it's actually the bolt that's holding the horn assembly on. That's what I used for the ground on the passenger side for the HIDs. Right now, I'm just over here, I'm just trying to zip tie everything away so it's all held in place and it's somewhat clean looking. That way, you know, kind of looks like a stock install. Right now, this wire harness right here for the Gen 5 DIY daytime running light harness, this is kind of hard to hide because it's, you know, kind of flashy. So I just zip tied it in there, and so far everything seems to be going all right. So, kind of giving you a little bit of tips with running the wires here. Also, whenever I'm done putting all the wires where they need to go, I'll let you know where they went. Like on the driver's side here, I mounted the HID ballast back here right alongside the fuse box. The anti-flicker, I actually zip tied to some of the factory wiring right here. I got everything all buttoned up. Got everything hidden for the most part. This is how this is going to look over here. This is the best I could do. Everything's hooked up, everything's working well. It looks like everything's pretty much waterproof. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't put the dust caps back on the back of the headlights. I do plan on doing it eventually, but I'm going to have to drill a hole in the dust caps to get the HID wire through there. So, but here's the headlights, Gen 5 DIY harness, and the switchbacks all installed. They look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and install the fog lights now, see how they match. Like I said, I have those other bulbs coming from JDM A-Star that I'm going to kind of compare these, because these ones, like I said, not really the best bulbs on the planet, but we'll see how they look compared to the ones that I'm going to get from JDM, and I'll kind of go over a little bit of a review with those as well. This install wasn't too bad. It was, like I said, the majority of what was going on was hiding the wires. So this whole harness had to be ran along there and hidden. Then each HID had the bulb, an anti-flicker, and then the actual harness to connect to the power. The harness for the power, from what I can tell, I hooked it up without it just to see if it would work, and it did. From what I can tell, they recommend that mostly for clean power. So whether or not it's actually needed, I'm not sure. I got it as part of a kit. It wasn't any cheaper with or without it. So I'm not 100% sure you needed that. And honestly, if I didn't hook that up, hiding the wires would have been a lot easier. But I hooked it up just because I'd seen a lot of other people doing it. And my friend that actually has a truck, he hooked his up and he recommended them because he said his flickered if he didn't have that on there. So I'm not sure. But for now, like I said, the install wasn't too bad so far. The fog lights, these are going to be pretty easy because for the most part, you just take out the bulb, put in another one. And these are pretty easy to do. You just turn the wheel and there's 3 T15 screws right here and then 2 more on the bottom. Take those, peel the fender well away, and the bulb's right there. You just grab it, pull it off, put the new one in. But I'll take a video of of the passenger side not done and the driver's side done, and we'll see what the difference is just between the factory bulb and this LED. And then we'll do the same kind of thing whenever the JDM A-Stars come. I'll kind of show you before and after as well. After taking the fender well bolts off, you can kind of see in there, that is the fog light plug. Like I said, these ones are kind of weird. You just grab them and pull them. There's no twisting or anything involved. Just to give you an idea where it's at. So after taking it off, this is what it looks like. This is actually the entire bulb. The connector's still in there. This is the bulb. Actually looks like it has part of a connector on it, just so you know. This is the driver's side fog light done. The passenger side is still stock. It actually doesn't look too bad. It's a pretty close match. It might be a slight bluer at the bottom. But like I said, we're still going to switch them out and see what those ones from JDM A-Star looks like. And here it is, all finished. Got the Xenon Depot HIDs, the switchbacks, LED switchbacks from Amazon, and the LED fog lights also from Amazon. The fog lights from Amazon were only like $25. The switchback LEDs were $29, and the HIDs from Xenon Depot were like $109, I think. So I mean, we'll see. Everything looks pretty good to me, but I still want to try out those JDM A-Stars and see if they're better. From what I hear, they are a good bit brighter, so we'll see. All right, guys. So as you can see, it's obviously much later at night. I just wanted to give you kind of a view of what these HIDs with the fog lights and everything looks like. It is a lot brighter. Not only that, it looks a lot more modern. I don't know why they ever released this truck without HIDs or at least LEDs, something to make it look a little more modern than just regular halogens. But I'm actually going to cut the video a little bit short before I get the JDM A-Star LED fog lights to compare, because this video ended up being way longer than I thought it was going to be. Obviously I did go through installing, you know, the Gen 5 DIY harness, the switchback LEDs, and the fog lights, so it ended up being a little bit longer. But I'm gonna actually release another video doing the comparison and the review of the JDM A-Star fog lights. If you guys are interested in that, that will be coming out shortly after this video. But like I said, I'm gonna cut it short here. This is what these lights look like right now. Not bad at all. I'm definitely happy with the HID headlights. The fog lights could be a little bit brighter, so I'm curious. I'm anxious to see what those JDM A-Stars are going to look like. But like I said, that's going to do it for this video. So if you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload.